Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Fridley Moore Lake Area Learning Center's 2021 graduation celebration. I'm Jason Bodie, Principal of Alternative Services here at Fridley and Principal of the ALC. I'm honored to be here to congratulate all of you, recognize your accomplishments, and just spend some time, last few minutes, with our graduates. And first of all, who we really need to thank in the room is our families, parents and families. Thank you for entrusting us with your children. We're really honored to work with them every single day, and they couldn't have gotten to this point without you, especially this year, right? This has been one year. And so moreover this last school year and a half even, this isn't just this school year, it goes back, we all know, back to March or so last year. You provided a lot of support that we didn't ever get to see, unfortunately, because we were at a distance for a while. But that's a major influence for them to get to their goals. So I wanted to thank you, number one, and give you a round of applause. I'd also like to thank our district departments, people who are kind of behind the scenes that we don't always get to see that really make this whole place work every day. People in our finance department, buildings and grounds, teaching and learning, the superintendent and the superintendent's office, communications, nutritional services, transportation, human resources, our school board. It goes on and on. There's lots of people behind the scenes that we don't get to thank every single day. So I want to thank them for all their support because their efforts don't go unnoticed either. And we have a few of those people here tonight. I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Kim Heil, our superintendent, for coming. Thank you. Mr. Ross Meisner, one of our school board members, thank you for coming. And we have David Weber back there behind the camera in our communications department, and Sarah Burgart here taking photos. So thank you all for coming tonight. And then last but certainly not least, our ALC staff over here sitting in front of you. None of this could be possible without them. So I'd like to introduce everybody. I don't know if they're all sitting in this exact order, but we have Jan Caven, our administrative assistant back there. Thank you. Jan really is the one who runs the place, right? And then Donna Wood, our science teacher. Jenny DeMars, our English and work experience teacher. Jennifer Pearson, our math teacher. Adam Hertz, social studies. Mackenzie Deesner, our social worker. Nicole Mozette, our teacher on special assignment, and the other person who runs the place. Daniel Hasbrook, our art teacher. And Ariel Chong, our EL teacher. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. Good. So without them, this really can't happen either. So give them a nice big round of applause. And lastly, to our graduates, I'm so proud of your accomplishments, and you should be proud of yourself. This year you're able to somehow stay focused through this and make school a priority and navigate all of these unknowns that we had to deal with the last year and a half. We had the pandemic, the presidential election, the murder of George Floyd, social justice movements, and countless other headlines, right? This last year and a half has been crazy. So I applaud you for being able to weather that and navigate and make school a priority. You found a way to show up. You put that effort into your education, and you finished your diploma. And you did it for yourself, and you should be really proud of that. No one can ever take that away from you. You've earned it, and now it's yours forever. And I hope you remember the lessons we've taught. I hope you've learned from what didn't always go your way, and you know what it means to persevere now. And I hope you keep learning your whole life, and that we've helped you to develop those skills to do so. And if you do these things, whatever you want to do in life, you're going to be able to do. It's been a challenging race for many of you, and now you've crossed that finish line, and you should be very proud of yourself. Thank you. And to share a few more words, I'd like to introduce Dr. Kim Heil, our superintendent of Fridley Public Schools.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to take a little time because we want to spend the time on our graduates. So good evening, parents, guests, school board members, Meisner staff, and our 2021 scholars. I'm Kim Heil, Dr. Kim Heil, Superintendent of Fridley Public Schools, and we welcome you to this celebratory event to honor our students that are sitting out here with us today. So scholars, you've done it. You have reached your goal, and you have literally done this during a pandemic. You stayed focused and stayed on course through all of the limitations, distractions, letdowns, and challenges that came your way during the pandemic. You have earned this diploma. You persevered, you showed tenacity, and you made it happen. Yes, each of you made it happen. So as you celebrate this accomplishment, please take the time to reflect on what you have done and take time to congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back. Take the strategies that you used from this past year to be successful and use them to guide you toward your wishes, goals, and dreams. So I'm going to leave you just with a real brief quote. Behind you are all of your memories. Before you are all of your dreams. Around you are all those who love you. And within you is all that you need. So you have already shown that you can take on the unknown and take on challenges and come out successful. So the world awaits you, and I congratulate our class for 2021. Congratulations.
So thank you, Dr. Heil, for those great words, and thank you for coming tonight. The next part of our program is Mackenzie Deesner, our school social worker. She's going to provide us a keynote speech.
You can see over the podium, so that we're good. Okay. Good evening, parents and families, Fridley staff, teachers, and members of our board. And most importantly, hello and congratulations to our 2021 graduates. My name is Mackenzie Deesner, and I've had the privilege of being the school social worker at Fridley ALC the past 5 years. In true keynote speaker fashion, I would like to start off with a quote from someone much wiser than myself. This is one of my personal favorites from Mr. Edmund Lee. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you, even when you do not see it in yourself. Graduates, take a moment to look around this room and at all the faces looking back at you. I imagine these are the people that have pushed you when you needed encouragement, called you on your you-know-what when you were slacking off a little bit, and applauded you for your successes. And even take notice of those who aren't able to be here tonight, but who have been an instrumental part in helping you get to this point. These are the people who have reminded you why your education is so important. Although this year has made it more difficult to physically surround yourself with those people, it has never been more important to have those connections. I hope that as you start your next adventure after Fridley ALC, you continue to surround yourself with people who support you in your aspirations, but also challenge you in different perspectives, but also challenge you to take in different perspectives and be strong in your convictions. Those people will make you do better and ultimately be better. As I was thinking about advice I could leave you all with, I thought back to a youth conference I attended with some ALC students last year. The conference was put on for youth all over the Twin Cities, and the topics that were discussed ranged from mental health and safety to culture and the curriculum being taught in our schools. The point of the conference was for young people to describe what the best learning environment looked like to them, how they would envision the best school possible for the next generation of students. And one of the coolest parts was that the adults in the room were there just to observe. They did not offer any suggestions or ideas or criticism. They were simply there just to hear the students speak. It was pretty amazing to hear youth describe with such passion and wisdom what their school system should look like. It truly solidified for me that when young people are given a seat at the table where decisions are being made, they will knock your frickin' socks off. I want to challenge each of you to be bold in this next phase of your lives. Lean into the uncomfortability of advocating for yourself and take a seat at that table. During the conference, the keynote speaker took the opportunity to address students, and one particular quote stuck out to me. He said, "If you don't have vision for yourself by breakfast, someone else will have vision for you by lunch." Those words have played on repeat in my head as I work with students day in and day out, but this year I feel like they are particularly fitting. We all have plans or visions for what our lives are going to look like, how things will turn out, and then a global pandemic happens, grief and anger are streaming all over the news, civil unrest and social injustices are apparent in our city, and things get a little weird. And not only did things get weird, for some of us, things got really, really hard. I want you all to understand and truly take to heart that despite numerous obstacles, you persevered and kept this vision for yourselves. Even if you had to make adjustments, sidesteps, and some compromises along the way, you pushed forward with your vision. You did this. A super wise math teacher once did a distance learning advisory lesson on graduation, and she brought forth the idea that commencement actually means the start of something new. You all have satisfied what it means to be a high school graduate and receive a diploma. That is an amazing accomplishment. And although graduation feels very final, I hope that tonight is not the grand finale of your educational journey, but that it is merely a bridge to the next adventure you are about to embark on. I hope that you will continue gaining knowledge about topics that interest you, and maybe some that don't. Keep critically thinking about issues that our society faces, and maybe solve a couple of them, and develop passion for something or numerous somethings, and build meaningful relationships with those in all aspects of your life. Doing those things is what makes a lifelong learner, and I wish that for each of you. Thank you for allowing Fridley ALC to be a part of your journey. We are so proud of you and wish you all the best. Congratulations, class of 2021. You did it.
Thank you, Mackenzie. That was a great words for our graduates. And so now is the moment we've all been waiting for, the presentation of our graduates here. And to do that, Ms. Jenny DeMars is going to come up and say a few words about our students. But before she does, graduates, a couple of pointers for you. So we'll call your name and we'll go in alphabetical order. In a normal year, we would give hugs and handshakes and things like that, but it is COVID, so we can do a air high five or an elbow bump or something like that if you wish. And like I said, Ms. DeMars here will say a few things with you, and then I will present you with a certificate. It's not your real diploma yet. That'll be mailed to you here in June. And then when you get your certificate and you go back to your table, make sure you move your tassel from right to left, please, and then head on back. And you can see in our program, we've got quite a few more graduates on the list. Unfortunately, a lot of people weren't able to join us tonight, but we'll start with our first graduate then, Ms. DeMars.
Well, I feel really privileged to be able to see these three young people. I was trying to think, they have so much in common. The first thing is they seriously are some of the best human beings you could ever meet. They all hold jobs. They're all well liked at their jobs. They're polite, they're considerate, they're kind. It really struck me that, understatement, not a traditional year, but they just really rolled with it, and they learned a lot even outside of school. I feel like sometimes the teachers can't take credit. It's the students. They really did their own learning. Mackenzie mentioned them being lifelong learners or to be one. These three really, truly are lifelong learners. They showed that to us this year, and it was just really amazing to watch that happen, even from a distance. So I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I want you to have your moment in the spotlight. We're going to start with Daisy. So Daisy, would you come up here while I say a few words about you? Thank you. So good to see you. First of all, we had asked them to fill out an exit survey, so I wanted you to know what's going on with Daisy. She came to the ALC to catch up on her credits, and she clearly did. She plans to attend a community college. Her advice for other students is, it's hard regardless, so do the hard stuff. She also wanted to thank the teachers who pushed her and used their positive energy to motivate her. Some really cool things about Daisy, because I was fortunate enough to meet her before the pandemic. First of all, she has stellar attendance. She is here every day. She's very friendly to everyone, students and staff. She's incredibly creative. She writes poetry. Her personal style, she's got the rockin' shoes on today. Another really cool thing about her is how she advocates for herself. She's really straightforward, and Kenzie actually said about her, I think she could be a CEO someday. And kind of the self-advocacy really struck me when Daisy had to quarantine because of an exposure, so not a fun thing. And she would literally send me a Google Meet link. Hey, can you hop on? I need to talk to you. And then she would even read some of her poetry out loud, which was super entertaining and just fun, which kind of leads into one of her considered professions is even being an actress. And she really, if you were able to hear her read her poetry, you'd see why she might be very good at that. But she also made thank you cards as a final project. So again, just a lifelong learner, fantastic young lady. Very proud of you, Daisy.
Thank you.
Okay, Jordy, it's your turn in the spotlight. So Jordy Gonzalez, he also came to the ALC to catch up, and clearly he succeeded. Now that he's graduating, he is looking into getting a different job that required a high school graduation, so he's got a plan. His advice for people is just don't fall behind. And as far as thank yous, he wants to send out his own personal letters, so some of you can be looking for letters to come to you from Jordy. Just some personal things about him is he's really been working on his time management, and I just thought it was kind of cool to see that happen over the school year because he works a lot, but he did manage to squeeze in the schoolwork. Part of the reason he works so much is he is just like such a helpful young man that he wanted to help out his coworkers. When we were in person, he's the kind of kid you want in class because he participates, he helps his school friends, he encourages everybody else to participate. I know you can't see it under the mask, but Jordy just has a really quick smile. And he has a really dry sense of humor, so sometimes kids think he's serious, but he's not, which is really fun to watch. And then something I don't think Jordy knows how much we appreciate it, but he always says thank you. If he were to send me a text and he didn't thank me at the end, 30 seconds later I'd get, and thank you. So we thank you, Jordy, for letting us work with you. Good job. Okay, Savannah. She doesn't like a lot of attention on her, but she's getting it. Okay, so Savannah, like everybody else, came here to catch up on all of her schoolwork, and again, she succeeded. In fact, she made up so many credits last year that she didn't have to do a lot of schoolwork this year. But the really cool thing about Savannah is she's willing to try all kinds of new things. So what Savannah plans to do after graduation is drive around the 48 states. She would go to the other ones, but she doesn't have, a hydro car? Is that what it's called? And her advice to people is show up and do your work. You might get ahead because that's what she did last year. She wants to especially thank her mom. And some really cool things about Savannah is her traditional job is she works at Goodwill, and even at such a young age, she is a key holder at the store. But then her other jobs to get money for this trip, she's a dog sitter, but she is very fair. She says she wants people to be able to have this service at a fair price. And she does it even though she's allergic to dogs because she's so helpful. And she also does DoorDash. So this girl is busy, busy, busy. And just like these other two young people, she's super creative. When I had her in person, she wrote a science fiction story. She's written personal narratives. She'd do reports on different countries with maps, everything. And then this year, during the pandemic, she taught herself some different art forms. She was spray painting, and then she also was painting on record albums, which I was able to see her artwork. It's just really cool. Then the other thing that she's working on is she's working with a friend to convert a vehicle into a mobile home to get ready for this trip. So again, all three of these young people are lifelong learners, risk takers, just everything we would want them to be. So I applaud you also, Savannah.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations to our graduates. Let's give them one more big round of applause. And thank you, Jenny, for those great words. I think you really captured who our students are, and we're going to miss you a lot. But we know you're on to bigger and better things. And I hope you come back and visit us sometime. And I hope you come back and maybe give some of those words of advice to future students. We'd love to see you stop back and help them understand kind of what it takes to get to the end, because you've all figured it out. Well done. So in closing here, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you and also goodbye myself. I've been the principal at Fridley ALC for the last 4 years, and yet my time has come also to move on to my next stage in my story. And I'm actually not going very far, which is great. I'm honored that I was chosen to be the next Director of Teaching and Learning here at Fridley Public Schools, so I'll be still around. And I'm really excited to move into this new role, but I'm really more excited because I don't have to go that far away, and I get to continue to work with the ALC and the other schools in the district and support them and continue some of the good work we're doing to support students moving forward. But I really don't want to make this about me. But I want to make it more about you, because to the students, the staff, the community here in Fridley, I've learned so much about me and who I am over the last 4 years. This job has really changed literally who I am. And I'm a better person and I'm a better educator because of you. And I'm looking at all of you right now in the crowd. I really am. And it's really the reason I think I'm prepared for my next step. So I learned a lot from you, and I wanted to say thank you for that. And you should be proud of that because you taught this old guy a few things. So I really appreciate that. So I really have loved my time at the ALC. I look forward to my next step, but I really wanted to congratulate you. You're moving on to the next chapter in your life. You're all amazing. We heard about that. Jenny offered some great words. You're ready for what lies ahead of you. Mackenzie shared being lifelong learners and continue to do those wonderful things and solve some of our world's problems because we need you, all right? Please take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and we wish you great success in the future. Thank you for coming.